trying to decide whether we should talk about the Twitter redesign or not.
I mean, I'd like you to explain it to me because I'm not really a Twitter fan and I don't use Twitter, so I'm not super across what they've redesigned. All I know is that there was a big backlash.
Yeah.
Can you talk me through like what's happened?
Cool. Let's take a look at it. So this I actually spotted from The Verge. If you don't read The Verge, I definitely suggest changing your life and starting to watch their YouTube channel and reading The Verge. But essentially their headline reads, Twitter is changing the contrast of buttons again after complaints of eye strain. So the general sort of consensus here is that they came up with a very intense color palette where if you look into, let me just click through and see if there's a good sort of visual representation of it all. Here we go. Let me just change that over. So if I show you what I'm looking at.
Just looking at that tweet that it said changing the colours to make images and things stand out more. That's almost like, I mean, we discussed in the office the other day about Instagram shifting away from photo sharing. I wonder if Twitter's sort of looking at their media approach and how they sit in that market.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned you're not really on Twitter. Neither am I. I go on Twitter every once in a while to message, Samsung support or one of the support channels because it's so public that they tend to get back to you within 24 hours. But I don't know. I mean, Twitter, there's clearly still a market for it. I've never been a huge user. I think, a lot of journalists are on there, so maybe we're missing something or we're not quite the demo. But this is an example of the redesign.
This is in particular in Australia. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I'm not sure that it ever really took off too much in Australia, but definitely in America, you see it being used a lot.
Yeah, definitely. It's much bigger over there. Still, journos over here in Australia use it a fair bit. But this is the redesign that they were talking about. Very high contrast, as you can see, Kelsey. If you're not watching the video, they've just gone, I would say that's probably outright black buttons, black text, and then a lot of white. So there's not a lot of shades of colors. It's just the Twitter blue, black, a grey, and I'm not spotting any other colors, are you?
No. I'm trying to figure out what the issue is at the moment, actually, looking at these, because they look fine to me. But, again, I'm not used to the interface of Twitter. So.
Well, what the issue's been is that because of the high contrast, when you're looking at it, like when you're looking at just a screenshot, you don't really get that impact. But then imagine seeing this, like scrolling through and everything's just black, white, like everything's really stark. And that just puts a lot of pressure on your eyes because there's no hierarchy there, right? So images stand out, but then everything else, images and buttons stand out, everything else is just lost. Like everything else is just jumbled in together, and that's really the issue. They also launched with it a new typeface called Chirp. Pretty cute name at least. But it's generally been not well received. They've gone back to the drawing board. They're sort of changing things around a little. Again, there's talks about it not being a very accessible sort of website anymore. There's reports of people getting eye strain, headaches, and migraines due to the high visual contrast, which...
you're spending too much time on the app then if you're getting that.
I wonder if it's the
a bigger
app or if it's the website that's worse. Well, there you go. I'm not on Twitter, as you can see.
That's not
often enough to be signed up, but I guess this is a reminder to look at contrast ratios. I think balancing it up, and we always talk about this in the office. Talk about what things are shouting out. Is there a hierarchy? Is everything shouting together? Well, if everything's shouting together, imagine a room full of 100 people shouting. you're not going to notice anything or notice anyone. So it's I guess a bit of a lesson in, you know, balancing out a whole color palette and taking an intentional sort of approach to design there.